Just close your eyes. Know the peace within.
Truth is unmoving. You are that. Truth is unchanging. You are that. Truth is ever present. You are that. Truth is never born. You are that. Truth is deathless. You are that. Truth is beyond space. You are that. Truth is beyond words. You are that. Truth is beyond time. You are that. Truth is beyond object. You are that. Truth is beyond form. You are that. Truth is beyond manifestation. You are that. Truth has no beginning. You are that. Truth is unending. You are that. Truth neither appears nor disappears. You are that. Truth is eternal. You are that. Truth is beyond dream. You are that. The highest truth is that you are that. The highest truth is that you only prevail. The highest truth is that you only observe. The highest truth about yourself remains unknown to you till your consciousness is conscious of itself. The truth about your consciousness is known only in stillness. Only in stillness your consciousness is conscious of itself. Only in stillness your consciousness knows its beyondness, prior to movements, prior to words. Only in stillness your consciousness remains relaxed. Only in stillness your consciousness knows the peacefulness. Only in stillness your consciousness remains wakeful. And stillness is non-dual. Your consciousness is non-dual. And wakefulness is beyond duality, non-dual. So your consciousness remains wakeful once it is conscious of itself inwardly. Since your consciousness does not know its conscious state beyond movements, it is accepting itself to be the object, to be the form, to be the identifications, to be the certain shape and design at the elemental level, at the appearance level. I tell you, you are the only truth and you are the highest truth, and nothing never happens to you in your original state. This you come to know only when you wake up consciously from the perceived dreamy duality. Why it takes so much time to remain wakeful? And wakefulness is beyond time. I tell you, wakefulness is beyond time. Wakefulness is beyond movement. And your consciousness is ever wakeful inwardly. By not knowing the conscious state inwardly, your consciousness remains asleep. Here, asleep means consciousness not knowing its conscious state. When consciousness does not know its conscious state, it remains asleep. Once your consciousness knows its conscious state, it remains wakeful. Now you know whether your consciousness is asleep or wakeful. And to be wakeful, no effort is needed, no energy needed, no knowledge needed, no words required. Because inwardly your consciousness is ever wakeful. But how to know your wakefulness? There's only one possibility to remain wakeful inwardly, that is, closing your eyes and knowing the unmoving peace within and knowing the unchanging peace within. Just now, with eyes closed, you come to know the unmoving stillness within. This is just the beginning of your consciousness. Now you know your conscious state inwardly, and this is more than enough for you to remain wakeful inwardly, constantly, consistently, so that the wakefulness is complete. When your wakefulness is complete, only when your consciousness merges totally into the source of awareness. Only in total wakefulness, the observer is known as well as whatever observed in space where only a dream happening is known. So here, total wakefulness is most essential to know your highest unborn state beyond birth and death, to know your eternity beyond dreamy duality, to know that nothing never happens to you, the observer. I tell you, you always observe. You eternally observe, you beginninglessly observe, and you endlessly observe. And you are the exclusive observer, you are the absolute observer. Since you do not know how to observe, you are trapped by the duality show, where there is no reality. Why I say that there is no reality in the duality? Because in duality everything appears and disappears at an unexplainable speed. Where is the reality? In this duality, where everything appears and disappears at an unexplainable speed. So reality is neither moving nor changing, neither appearing nor disappearing. So the reality about yourself is known only when your consciousness wakes up totally from the perceived dreamy duality, which is possible only when your consciousness is conscious of itself inwardly. Here, throughout my teachings, I help your consciousness to be conscious of itself inwardly, beyond words, beyond movement, beyond identification, beyond changes, beyond appearances and disappearances, beyond time and space, beyond manifested duality. See, I tell you, you are already that. That means you are ever in that original state, unborn state, the supreme state, the absolute state. You are already the wholeness. You are already total inwardly. You are already complete inwardly. You are already perfect inwardly. Since you do not know how to settle inwardly, you accept the perceived duality at the form level to be the only reality, and you go on get trapped by the duality show, which is never you. I tell you, you were never born. How can you suffer when you were never born? So why not you settle inwardly and wake up totally to know that you were never born, and also to know that whatever born is only a dream state and not real. You are in endless nectar state. You are in endless joyful state inwardly. Inwardly, nothing never happens to you in your original state. But you are accepting only the perceived duality state to be the only reality. So you are unable to know your original non-dual reality beyond birth and death. I tell you, truth is very, very simple, that you are already that you are always that. I address my teachings exclusively to the consciousness within you, which remains ignorant about itself just by accepting itself to be a tiny form, to be born, to be suffering, and to be the personality. I am eradicating the ignorance that you are a person, and I indicate the conscious state within you inwardly so that your consciousness remains wakeful inwardly, constantly, consistently, so that total wakefulness is possible, through which your consciousness realizes the ultimate unborn reality prior to the perceived unreal duality. I know what you are originally. I know where you are originally. And you are yet to know where you are originally and what you are originally, because you are still accepting yourself to be a person, to be the form. So only to make you know your conscious state beyond appearances, beyond form, beyond movements, beyond words, I am helping you to close your eyes and know the stillness within. This stillness is the beginning of your conscious state. In this stillness, you remain relaxed, you remain peaceful, and this is more than enough for you to be wakeful as well as to wake up totally, to realize your original state beyond birth and death. Such a simple thing. You cannot miss yourself once you are conscious of yourself inwardly. You cannot remain asleep once you are conscious of yourself inwardly. You cannot accept the dream to be real once you are conscious of yourself inwardly, because the moment you are conscious, your consciousness remains wakeful. The moment you are wakeful, you are freeing yourself from the perceived duality where there is not even an iota of reality. So my whole teaching is exclusively addressed to the consciousness within, which is unknowingly accepting itself to be a person, to be born, to be suffering, to be the personality. Now I am helping your consciousness to know its conscious state beyond boundaries, beyond space, beyond duality, beyond manifested objects, beyond birth and death. My whole teaching is exclusively addressed to your consciousness within, which remains ignorant about its highest truth, that it is already in the unborn reality, that it is already in the deathless reality, that it is the ever-present endless reality, the ever-present eternal reality. Once your listening is total, you will not miss to know the conscious state, neither you will miss to know your wakefulness beyond duality. At least now, know the conscious state inwardly, and know to stay beyond words inwardly, and know how to observe silently, so that at any moment your consciousness can wake up totally to realize its unborn eternity beyond duality. I tell you, you are the highest truth and you are the only truth, and there is no truth higher than you. and you are never separate from the truth, because you are already that and always that. That means the supreme, the unborn, the deathless, the absolute, the wholeness, the eternal. At least now, know the conscious state inwardly and never miss to remain wakeful inwardly and know how to observe silently. I am certain your consciousness wakes up totally to realize its ultimate, endless, eternal truth, that it is already that and always that. I am certain after listening to these teachings, your consciousness remains conscious of itself inwardly and remains wakeful inwardly, so that realization is possible to know that you are endlessly in the non-dual reality, and you are the only non-dual reality, and you only observe and you only prevail eternally, endlessly. Wake up consciously, inwardly, and get to know your supreme richness, that you are endlessly here, that you are eternally here, that you are always that, and that you are already that. Wake up consciously and know the highest truth about yourself, that you are eternally here and nothing never happens to you, the eternal observer. Wake up and know.